Nothing in the entirety of Counter-Strike is as sleek, satisfying, and downright sublime as a one-tap.
They gotta go for the plant. There's no one there to interrupt them just yet, so at least they'll succeed, but they need to win this. Oh my lord! Faith, what are you doing?
Oh, second player peeks in through the connector and a nice bait on the site from Order, but Nico, 2 shots and 2 kills. Oh, Nico!
Has to watch out. He knew that there was a player up here towards A. Oh my god, XMS! What is wrong with you?
A successful one-tap is a sign of both confidence and disrespect. A way to square up with one's opponent, stare straight into their goddamn soul, and convey the simplest of messages. Sit the fuck down.
Them alone, and he almost took down 2. That is a ridiculous shot. Do they really want to chase him? He seems to be in a position. Oh! He's taking him down!
Yeah, he can't believe it.
And for the vast majority of players, that's all that one-tapping is. A flashy way of asserting mechanical dominance. But for one Belgian aimgod, it is a way of life. See, there is no player whose one-taps are more talked about than the eadshot machine.
And Scream has no armor, 41 HP. Aim punch significant, and he not peeking. Spawns it right away! That is the Scream we know!
The crazy thing is that despite being the single most mythical mug clicker in the history of Counter-Strike, Adil Scream Bennerlitom has spent nearly a decade struggling to become the superstar he was destined to be. Throughout Scream's career, he's faced gut-wrenching kicks, been the target of scathing criticism.
He is also one of the most one-dimensional star players that have ever played Counter-Strike.
And he's kind of devolved into a meme.
What can I say? They know me for my one tap?
And yet, in spite of it all, Scream remains one of the most explosive, adored, and mythologized aimers Counter-Strike has ever seen.
So they have to tap and bait, and Cold's so low on HP. They line up! Scream's got both!
That's godlike from Scream.
So why has his professional career seemingly gone off the rails? Okay, so aside from being one of the most drop-dead gorgeous men in all of esports, how did Scream become the king of spank bank plays? Well, like Kenny and Shox, the Belgian prodigy began making a name for himself in Counter-Strike Source, where he quickly established himself as one of French CS's single most explosive talents.
Fragmaster's looking strong, 1v4 now. Scream has a big job on his hands. He gets one onto it, Zed, he gets another one, that's 3! Scream spamming away, Neil doesn't get the defuse, and Scream, the beast!
By the time he'd made the move to CSGO, Scream had already become a legend on the servers. But not because he was a prodigious AWPer, a master of utility, or had an especially acute game sense. No, what Scream did have was a very special set of skills. Skills he'd acquired after years of grinding deathmatch servers. Skills that made him a nightmare for people who enjoyed taking face-to-face gunfights.
A little bit messy in the CT side. 3 players are trying to spray through one another and doing a bit of damage to each other. But here comes Scream with his AK. They need to be careful they don't face him one at a time. We know what his aim is like. And Scream! Oh, Scream! What an ace play! You monster!
Day in and day out, this dude religiously obsessed over one thing and one thing only. If you flashed him, flanked him, smoked him off, or threw a molly his way, he really wouldn't be able to do very much. But if you ever decided to challenge him in any sort of aim duel, he would absolutely fucking destroy you.
There's the response as well. Molotov going to go out, try and force them out of position. No one has any a reason to peek, but he starts to make it work. Snods gets the second frag. 30 seconds left on the clock as Scream will push his way in. He's a bit of a killer with a Kalashnikov as he makes an absolute meal out of the round. Takes down Snatchy. Can he find the last one? Clears the angle, knows his location. Scream gets it.
Yeah, that's where those upsets come from, because early on they did play, the opponents were being that passive style, but now you can see Scream doesn't care anymore. Scream's doing the no respect. 4 quick headshots and the ace. That's beautifully done. That is sick.
Over the years, Scream has assembled a portfolio of highlights that have cemented him as one of the most unbelievable aimers Counter-Strike has ever seen.
Smith sends him straight to hell, and I'm really pleased about that. Scream just, look at these headshots. It's disgustingly beautiful to watch. This guy's aim is ridiculous. I don't care. It's against an eco.
He even had a mouse made in his honor. You know that weird Swiss cheese looking dongle that Final Mouse made in partnership with Ninja? Yeah, I bet none of you the fuck you say to me, you little shits, knew that they made one with Screamy first.
They talk about my one-taps, and I think for me, aiming is so easy. When I sit down to play, everything already is a part of me.
The crazy thing is that it wasn't just his inhuman mechanics. It was his sky-high confidence that let Scream dish out some seriously big dick plays.
Surely they have to take this A site before the rotations come in. Guardian gets RPK, that's their last hope toward long, and it's Scream on a fast rotate that's able to at least get one, now two, but Bomb's already planted, and Scream again, he's gonna get another. It's just him left though, because Seized has found existence, but we know Scream can do this. That's 4 headshots, and he's in the position. There's nothing they can do. What a round from Scream.
And he wasn't just dunking on random scrubs online. He was making pros who dedicated their lives to Counter-Strike look like absolute bots.
There's a pop flash into Paul, allowing Scream to face at the same time. Easy for Scream. Very patient bursting, and that is a brief anti-eco ace.
And did I mention his pornographic one-taps?
Their better side, it's their T side where they really struggle.
What? Scream! And Scream, the only man left, comes around the corner, finds a head onto Edward, gets himself an AK. Now, oh my word, that was dirty. For sure.
Yeah, he's got one bullet in it. He's reloaded, he's got one bullet.
Oh, Scream!
Quite a big tell when they're
Oh my God, Scream! Scream! Oh, show me your sex face. Jesus.
Like, Scream, how could you do him like that? These guys have families. Anyway, despite being hailed as a dome-smashing divinity, Scream has actually had one of the most tragic careers in the history of Counter-Strike. After a promising start with Very Games that saw him finish top 4 at the first ever major, nearly every subsequent major appearance he's made has been a certified disaster. On top of that, Scream has struggled to find a home over the years, having been kicked from basically every French org in existence.
What would you like to achieve in CSGO before you'd be happy retiring?
I think I would like to have a team before retiring. I would like to have a team and just not
that's the most steps. That's
like the first step. Having a team, you know.
Yeah.
That's
just so sad.
And maybe worst of all, he's been made the subject of some pretty cringy caricatures.
You want me to tell you a story? I'll tell to you the Scream. He is so fucking good with headshot. Pop up, pop out. You're like, oh my god, he's machine! Normal human. Pop up, pop up, pop up. Do ooh la la. Pop up, moonwalk. Whoop whoop.
What the fuck is that accent?
Yeah, arriba.
Okay, so what exactly went wrong for Scream? Well, the problem is that his blessing was also his curse. He'd become so fixated on landing these insane 1 in a million headshots that nearly every other aspect of his game fell by the wayside.
I should teach you some Molotov, my friend. And it's shit, like shit, my friend.
He was basically the esports equivalent of a bodybuilder who only works out his arms. And that's a major hindrance in a deep, multifaceted game like Counter-Strike, where you can't always one-tap your way to victory. Ultimately, you could say that Scream became Counter-Strike's definitive example of all aim, no brain.
Maybe apps.
Oh, you go.
No! Still have the full buy from SK, so this round is not over just yet. Very likely that SK could trade this back and we end up being... Oh my god, Scream! How do you mess that up? He has a perfect angle on bolts.
Both these teams were expected to go through. Both these teams mentally would have expected to go through. What happened at the beginning of that round for Envious?
Well, because on this strategy I actually needed 2 flashes.
Okay.
But I didn't have like 2 flashes, I had like 4 nades. So I had to throw the nade. But I didn't expect that and I didn't know what to say, to be honest, because like, I mean...
Before long, Scream went from a beloved French superstar to nothing more than a habitual stand-in. An unknown quantity that teams would only take a chance on in truly dire straits. But as disappointing as that may be, it's safe to say that Scream's journey wasn't all for naught. These days, he's blossoming as a content creator, and it's almost entirely due to the fact that he's been able to lean into his reputation as, well, a one-trick. to build a brand around his oh-so-recognizable obsession.
One taps.
And who knows? Maybe it isn't too late for him to make a comeback. He's only 25 years old, he hasn't retired, and he sure as shit isn't washed.
Banana. Flash. One. I have one more flash.
2 more banana.
Nice. Flashing.
Woo!
Why so easy? Wow.
So fucking easy, man.
But even if he doesn't reach those heights as a pro, he'll always have a place in the annals of Counter-Strike history. Few have inspired as much hilarity,
Sneaky bitch, my friend!
mythology, and love as Screamy. He may not be a major winner, but damn if he didn't play a pivotal role in shaping the culture of Counter-Strike as we know it. Stare straight into their goddamn soul and convey the simplest of messages. Sit the fuck down.
I think maybe like a restrained hostility, like
Sit the fuck down.
Because like the way he did it was funny, but it was also like game show hosty.
Sure.
A little bit.
Sure.
You know, like come on now, like
Yeah.
sit the fuck down.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. No, that's good. I like the restraint one. I'm just dying over the game show host. That was so. Sit the fuck down. With the skinny mic. Sit the fuck down.